Welcome back to Oregon Quilting, and Miss Amanda and I are here with one of my favorite people, Jeremy, and he's going to tell you some of the new fabric that's available and also some that's still available in your quilt shops. So what's new?
Well, one of the biggest licenses in America in quilting is the Realtree license. Realtree will be familiar to many of you as a camouflage brand, and ironically many of the television shows characters from anywhere from Duck Dynasty to the Axemen, a lot of these fellows all wear Realtree, whether it's a t-shirt or a hat, and so the Realtree fabrics have been very successful for Print Concepts and Sykel. We do an all-over generic Realtree pattern, which is very similar to the jackets and things that you can see and buy ready-made in the sporting goods stores. We do a wonderful all-over, which has an amalgam of all the different animals found in the woods and forests of North America. And then, because many hunters only go after the deer and stag, we've done almost like an I Spy kind of fabric, which just has the doe and stag intermixed with the trees. And then,
that's fun.
Following on from that, of course, a lot of hunters are women, and so we brought out a new pink collection in cotton and in fleece. There are currently a couple of different quilts. Underneath the table here is one of the quilts from Sew It Today magazine right now, and it's utilizing the pillow panel, the all-over postcard and equipment print, the all-over with the stag and doe on the pink background, and then the Realtree pink netting, just as in real life. And we also offer certain fleece designs. Now this is something not so much for the quilter, but certainly the home deck. You can make a no-sew fleece throw from this simply by cutting around the edges. This would be a 48 by 60 inch piece of goods, and by cutting around a fringe of maybe 2 inches all the way around and tying a little knot, you don't have to know how to sew. All you need to know to do is how to tie a knot, and you've got an instant blanket, which makes a wonderful gift. So Realtree, pretty self-explanatory. And we do a whole bunch of different panels which can be used as the centerpiece for the quilts. This particular one is a log cabin with the stag looking up, looking a little startled. The ducks flying high against the sunset. That's one of my favorite prints. And we've had a lot of calls because a lot of quilters will use flannel in their quilts and sometimes as the backing.
Right.
So what we've got here, Elizabeth, is 6 of our better known and better selling cotton prints. We've introduced these as flannels. So the plain all-over Realtree will be available as cotton and as a flannel. The pink is available as a cotton and a flannel. The all-over, which I showed you earlier, is available as a cotton, flannel, and a fleece. The ducks all-over will be available also as a flannel and a cotton. And then the wetlands print, which works pretty much all across North America with the exception of the dry zones down south, this is also available as fleece, flannel and cotton. And then the more home deck design, which I just showed you a sample of, that will be available in a few months, and that's available as all 3, cotton, fleece and flannel too.
Look, but those are so beautifully done.
Well, everything that we do and our artists do has to be accurate because, of course, Realtree is the hunter's brand. It's by far the #1 brand in North America and Canada. And as I said, you turn on the TV, pretty much every hunting show, they wear Realtree.
They wear Realtree.
And quilters want to make things, both for guys and for girls, that they have already. Just like with our Ford F-150 pickup fabric, they want that Super Duty King Ranch power stroke.
That's right.
People want what they aspire to own, or what they already own, or what's in their driveway, or what they've restored as a tractor. And that's why all of the prints and things that you see are very, very accurate representations of the licenses that we print for. And that's partly a requirement of the license and partly my personal passion. So following on from that, let's go military and services for a moment. We've done the firefighter fabric both in a fleece and a cotton for several years. It's pretty obvious people aren't so keen on the police for whatever reason, but they certainly love a firefighter.
Yes.
So we've done a firefighter print as a cotton and a fleece, as I said. And of course we do the military fabrics. These are the official fabrics. We pay a royalty to each of the services, which is used to support the armed forces when they travel abroad. And of course we do the 4 major services. We also have a Coast Guard print that we're doing now. And then something which
Okay.
you have done a wonderful job with, the Quilts of Valor program, which you've been running for over a year now, in which your garments are made out of, which is very, very attractive. This is the panel, and Karen Combs designed this for us a couple of years ago, and it still continues to sell. So we're very, very proud of that. And we certainly want to thank all of the armed forces for all their service, and my brother is in the British armed forces, so as a personal
yes.
something for me too.
Yes.
So coming back to something I really love, tractors, American tractors.
Now, is that new?
The two panels, this panel here and the block print, have been out for about a year,
Oh,
and we've had
okay.
such a big response. It's very polarizing. People are either green tractors or they're red
That's true.
tractors.
That's true.
And business, believe it or not, is almost 50-50 between the two brands.
Okay.
People recognize the green tractor name more so because it's had the same name for over 100 years. Case International Harvester has changed names over the years.
Oh, because it was International
They
Harvester.
became International, then they became Farmall, then they went back to Case, then International Harvester, and then back to Case International Harvester.
Okay,
But it's the
okay.
same age, believe it or not. And our artist, Charles Freitag, is an official painter for Case IH.
Oh, okay.
This, I think, is going to be one of the best prints that we've done for a long time because it's got the brand new equipment harvesting. And of course, that works in any of the states where you've got a large
Right,
farming
right.
community. I have the actual fabric here, and of course, you probably did a pan scan and saw the actual quilt. This is called Dealing Red. This is the new panel, commissioned by one of the major tractor dealers, Titan Machinery, out in the Midwest. They own a good number of Case IH dealers. So this is actually one of their dealerships, and we took their name off for obvious reasons, but to make it more generic. But this panel was hand-painted, the original panel was hand-painted by Charles Freitag from Iowa, and he's actually done Legacy of IH. He's done the one around the corner, which has the boy on the tractor, which is called Far More
Okay,
Friends.
okay.
And just a wonderful artist and a lot of detail. These are very accurate
Now,
representations
does
of the
this have a
tractors.
cat on it that I haven't seen?
I haven't seen the cat in this one, but
Okay.
I know we're a little short of time, so let me just keep
That's
running
okay.
through here. And I can show you some of the coordinates that go with that. Here's the pattern, which I really love, the Combine Harvester
look
print.
at that.
And then the bestseller at the moment, which is what we call a block print, because it's laid out
okay,
in blocks.
yeah.
And this follows the same format as the very successful Oregon and Oregon State fabric that we print for the NCAA. So because Case IH has been such a successful license for us, and Case IH is really building their brand in America and expanding and getting more and more market share by the year, they've actually hired one of the fellows from that worked on the Disney Cars movie, the Pixar company. And as you can see, there's a very big resemblance there. This is Big Red and Friends. We're doing this as fleece and as cotton prints. And then his girlfriend, Fern, the little tractor for the ladies, because a lot of the 4-H, the
That's
girls
true.
get just as involved, especially in the home economic side of things. They don't just want the boys'
That's
fabrics, but they
true.
want their own as well. So Fern is the lady version
Okay.
of Case IH tractors. So you've got Big Red and Fern. This group will be available in mid to late May, and of
Okay.
course will be just in time for all the 4-H, the Grange fairs,
Yes,
and all
yes.
the agricultural and state fairs.
Oh, this is really fun.
It is. Now, one of
This is fun.
the other licenses, which is one of my favorites, is Caterpillar out of Peoria, Illinois. We print in Korea because it's a much, much better quality of printing. And if you look at this, it may not translate so well on television, but you can see that almost looks like a photograph. Because we print in Korea, we use as many screen colors as we can, and that is a digital image that we have adapted, so it's extremely realistic. If a gentleman that worked in the mines driving this truck was to look at this, he'd be able to tell you that is exactly the vehicle he drives, because it is.
And the dirt, I mean, even the dirt is just so
And the bulldozer
realistic.
at the top, you can see that. But the all-overs that go with it have also been very popular. Quilters and accessory makers alike. You can fussy cut, you can cut these out, use them as appliques, get some fusible web, put a nice little patch on a child's shirt or on a pillow, on a backpack. And then there's a nice all-over scenic here with some of their other equipment, because Caterpillar just started launching their own truck brand as well. And even our gravel print
Look at that.
has been selling very well.
Isn't that fun?
And because a lot of these brands want to sort of catch children and get them interested in their brands early, we've also done this collection which you see behind me, and those are actually the same size on the fabric as the toys that the children have in the toy box.
Oh, okay.
And I think those toys, I forget who manufactures them under the Caterpillar brand name, but they retail for about $20 or less in the Kohl's and the Targets of the world, and the Sears stores and Toys R Us. So that's exactly the same representation as what's in the child's toy box. And then we have this wonderful little all over and some other coordinates to go with. And of course kids wear denim and jeans and so on, so we picked a denim ground because it was most appropriate.
Is that fun?
Because of the success of the Caterpillar brand for Print Concepts and Sykel, we've added some new prints. We've got a wonderful postcard print with some of the vintage images, which some of the quilters and their husbands may recognize and may have used, in fact. And we've added some more line drawings to almost look like the blueprints from Caterpillar that they provided as style guides. And of course, we've got a wonderful all-over of realistic trucks, which is a follow-on packed version of this image that I showed you and this fabric that I showed you here. So that's the new Caterpillar brand, and that will be available in June. And then lastly, we're very well known for our fleece. We don't make our fleece in China. This is a much heavier weight, it's a much thicker fleece, it's a much warmer fleece. Again, we do Oregon, Oregon State, Oregon Ducks, as you can clearly see. And again, people will make blankets to take to the stadiums. We're also the manufacturer of the pillow pet, so we would always suggest that they take a pillow pet and sit on that in the stadium, because stadiums can be jolly cold places, especially when the sun goes down in the afternoons. So that makes a nice comfy cushion, and then they can also have a no-sew fleece throw blanket. And lastly, of course, we are the manufacturers of the NCAA fabrics, and the college licensing company allow us to print for most of the colleges across America. So we do a lot of different cotton prints for all the schools. And this is the most popular, the 20 print, which is the block print. And then I have a camouflage print.
The beavers. Go beavers. Sorry, ducks.
I know you've got to get your little plug in. So here's the block print in the beavers, and then camouflage is so big, whether it's real tree or whatever. So we've actually done a camouflage print in all of the different.
This is new, isn't it?
This is fairly new, yes. I'll take it out of the wrapper so that it shows better on TV. Again, a nice thick quilting cotton, a 60 square, not a cheaper 68 square. And customers will be very happy with the quality, thickness, print quality of these fabrics. And they will never pucker and sag when you're quilting with them. They work with our batiks, which are handmade from Indonesia. And we also do ribbons for certain schools too. So this is a Washington State, I think. Ask an English guy about American football, what can I tell you? But we do the ribbons for the colleges as well, so it also ties in together. And that's about it for this year. We're expanding our collection for Ford F-150 pickup trucks. We'll have the new 2015 Ford Mustang on fabrics by the end of the summer. And of course, we're expanding our collections of tractors, and we're also talking to some additional licenses in hunting, shooting, and fishing. Because this is like the man cave of licenses for fabrics. So,
yes, it is.
Yeah, so thanks for stopping by.
Oh, thank you, Jeremy. And thanks for sharing.
Quilting.
Thank you, thank you. So thank you for watching, and we'll be back.